Raider Jim, any final thoughts as we wrap up this episode of the In the Paint podcast and get us ready for the Sweet 16 and Elite Eight?
No short season or short madness for some of these teams. But again, the Aztecs, whether they deserve to be there or not, or whatever we think, they did get there. Could have been a better showing, but still they made it. So good for them. Also to the Aztec ladies who, boy, I don't know if you heard the final score on that one.
Yeah,
Something like 103-48.
Yeah, pretty rough.
I don't know if Aztecs only put 3 people on the court or what happened there. But I think they played LSU, and LSU is just an absolute terror in women's basketball.
Yeah.
Also, the Lady Tritons, they went out in what was, in essence, the play-in game for March Madness. But by gosh, they did their thing, won the Big West, and they got to advance. And those men, the Triton men,
Yes.
you just can't say enough about the character of that team, the representation they had. It's almost a shame that even when they made it, even when they deserved to be there, even when they got so close, they still seem to be overshadowed a little bit by all the Aztec talk. So I think that's going to change in the next couple of years if San Diego State doesn't right the ship and become a little more dominant in the Mountain West. We'll see what happens. And then I don't know if the coach, I was going to ask you, do you think that the coach, Brian Dutcher, any chance that he'd be looked at by some of these colleges who are looking for somebody, the Xaviers of the world, the Oral Roberts even of the world?
I've always felt like certain coaches get to a point where they've said no so much that they don't get, like Mark Few, right? Or let's say Randy Bennett. You're going to sit here and tell me that Villanova has a coaching search and you're not going to call up Randy Bennett? Now, again, I don't know if that's just because they know, hey, we called him 10 years ago or whatever, when, it was 3 or 4 years ago, and he laughed at us or whatever, or it's a well-kept secret. They don't even call or he just, I don't know. But I do think you get to a certain point, and I go back to Rocky Long and the football coach, and he was here and he was very successful compared to what we've got going on now. Very, very successful. He was going to, look, he's only going to score 70 points a season, but he's going to go 10-2 and he's going to put you to sleep watching it, but he's going to be successful in the win-loss column. And then kind of out of nowhere, he was like, oh, I'm going to go to New Mexico. And it was like, wait, what? But he has ties there. So, obviously I know Brian Dutcher essentially has ties to Michigan, but I think that was mainly because of Steve Fisher. That's a very interesting, because I've always wondered about that, again, because of the Randy Bennetts and the Mark Fews. Like, these guys don't get called, really? Like, I find that hard to believe that UNLV is going to hire Josh Pastner and not, entertain the offer of Randy Bennett. Now, going from St. Mary's of Gonzaga to UNLV, you want to talk about a culture shock, but still, maybe not the best apples to apples there. That's a good question. I think a lot of what it is the age. I think once you get to a certain point, certain teams or programs, they look at Brian Dutcher and say he's probably got 5 or 6 years left. And obviously I'm just spitballing here. But he's not 42, 43 years old. So I think that might be a part of it, but that'd be a great question for if we ever get an athletic director on or something, to be like, is there just like an unspoken rule? There are some guys that aren't, really talked about, or you just aren't feasible for you? Because again, I have to imagine Duke can offer more money to Mark Few than Gonzaga. But again, I think a lot for them, it's matters a lot more than just the money side of it. But my final thoughts, I do want to switch kind of back to the women's side of things, and kind of an unfortunate situation. Unfortunately, I think it was last night. Yeah. Probably, I mean, I'm kind of ignorant. I know Paige Buchers has been really good. But for my money, the best basketball or women's basketball player, currently right now, at least at the collegiate level, Juju Watkins, she tore her ACL last night. And it obviously, probably going to miss all of next year as well, and then question marks going forward. Um, Thoughts and prayers going out to her, obviously, and the outpouring of support has been great to see. But I do want to bring it to the other side because, unfortunately, emotions do run high, and Juju is she's a brand, she's an icon. If you're a USC fan, Juju. If you're a college basketball fan, men or women, you probably know Juju. But the hate that the Mississippi player has been getting it's it's downright disgusting. And if you watch college basketball this weekend, you saw it seemed like every commercial break of the PSA of don't harass the players, don't harass the players, don't harass the players. It was a foul, and it's very, very unfortunate. But if you know anything about ACL injuries, their ACL injuries are non-contact injuries. There might have been contact on the play, but the ACL, something happens because structurally it just said no. And it's not because of another entity. There's no intent. And again, it's very sad that Juju is hurt, and who knows going forward, but the hate that this young lady has been getting, and multiple, it almost boiled over last night. Very, very sad. And if you are one of those people that do think it's your prerogative to hop on to DMs or to Twitter or X or Instagram or Facebook and DM these athletes because they lost a bet for you or because they think you hurt your favorite player or something like that, like, I mean this, and I mean this constructively, but you're a loser and you need to fix that. Again, I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Like, you need to go talk to someone about that, because if, again, your first reaction is, I'm going to go harass a 22-year-old at the highest or at the,
Right.
I'm sorry. That's not okay. I don't care what happened. No one held a gun to your head and made you put that bet in. No one held a gun to your head and made you DM this young lady probably very, very hateful things, for just playing basketball. Oh, and by the way, her dreams are also over because they lost. Mississippi State still lost by 30, even with that happening. So she's already probably not having a great day as well. So I just wanted to get out there. Obviously, mainly thoughts and prayers going out to Juju, but to anyone out there who thinks it's okay to harass these individuals and athletes because of what they do on the court, get a life. Seriously.